So in this video we're going to take a look at Module 54, and we're going to look at first the check your understanding question at the end of that module. So there's only one question here, and it relates a story about Bernie and his ice making company, and it says that there's electricity and a machine, and the quantity of output is given along with the inputs, the electricity. And the first part, it says what's the variable and what's the fixed input. So the fixed input is his machine, and the variable is the electricity that's used in the machine. Okay, so it does tell you that water doesn't matter for this, but that would be a variable input as well. So for B, it says construct a quick table showing the marginal product of the variable input, and does it show diminishing returns? So we'd say quantity of input, quantity of output, or that is to say total product and marginal product. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, those are what we're given, and 0, 1,000, 1,800, 2,400, and 2,800. Again, that's just what we're given, and the marginal product here is 1,000, 800, 600, and 400. So that here illustrates diminishing returns. So yes, it does illustrate diminishing returns. C says suppose 50% increase in the size of the machine increases output by 100%. Construct a new table showing that. So instead, I'm just going to say QTP prime, and that would be kind of these values, but essentially they're just doubled. So they go 2,000, and that's 3,600, and 4,800, and 5,600, and marginal product prime would be essentially these values doubled as well. So 2,000, 1,600, and 1,200, and 800. So it still shows that it's diminishing even though you have a now 15-ton machine. So for part C, oh, that is part C. That's part C. And so that completes the entire question for the check your understanding number 1. So we'll take a look at multiple choice questions. For multiple choice number 1, the production function shows the relationship between outputs and inputs, so that's D. It's just a vocabulary question. Number 2, what defines the short run? Again, a vocabulary question. It's when one input is fixed. 3, and the long run, by the way, is defined when all of your inputs are variable. So 3, the slope of the total product curve is known as the marginal product. It's just kind of another vocab question, knowing that. And when returns to an input are diminishing and a profit maximizing firm chooses to hire more of the input, the TP curve has what kind of slope? So we'll kind of quickly sketch out a graph here. Q input and Q output. And we know it goes up rapidly and then kind of flattens out and then goes negative. So we're talking about between here and where it starts to kind of flatten out. So here, it's experiencing diminishing returns, but they're still hiring because they aren't going to hire in this quantity because they're losing total product. So we'd say that that has positive and decreasing slope. So that's B. And 5, so that's from here to here. Positive, decreasing slope. 5, limits imposed by diminishing returns have been alleviated primarily by an investment in capital. Because that's what helps, is eliminating those fixed inputs, or at least trying to make them grow. To get more fixed inputs. So now we're going to take a look at FRQ number 2. And FRQ number 2 is just using the data to graph a production function on the marginal product of labor. And so we look at that kind of data table and we go, okay, there's 8 inputs. So we have a max value there, 2 and 6. And the maximum value of total product is 120. So 60, and then we'd say 90 and 30, and again, I'm just kind of looking at that data table to help us figure that part out. At 1, it's 25, so about here. 2 is at 47, so 40, it's about here. 3 is at 66, so it's going to be right about in here. 4 is 82. 5 is at 95. 6 is at 105, 7 is at 112, so 100, 110, 112, and 8's at 116, so it's going to be over here. So it's kind of has this nice flattening out TP curve. And the marginal product curve, we can construct figuring out the differences of these. Again, 8 for quantity of input, it's not price. This is the marginal product curve. And so for this one, sorry about that there, the marginal product is really just the change. So it's the maximum change. And I'm looking at the data table there. The maximum change is 25. So 25 and 4 and 6 and 2, 1, 3, 5, 7. So maximum one here, 1 and 25. The next one's going to be at 22. So let me just do 5, 10, 15, 20. So the next one's over here at 22. And sorry, I'm trying to do this nice as a straight line for us. The third marginal product, it looks like it's 19. So it's going to be really close to that one. 15, 10, and 5. So then the fourth marginal product, the marginal product of that one looks like it's a little bit less. Fourth marginal product is 4, so 16. And then 95 minus 82 is 13. And then 105 minus 95 here. And 112 minus 105. So that one's at 7. Right? Yeah, 7. And get rid of that. And 8 is the 8th worker has a marginal output of 4. So it's this kind of nice straight line. And those of you in calculus might observe that actually this function, the marginal product function, is the derivative of the total product function. So hopefully this wasn't too bad, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.